The Big 10 and the Pac-12 conference have postponed their football seasons due to concerns and complications with COVID-19. So the Big 10, that's Ohio State, Michigan, the Pac-12, USC, Oregon, all those schools, they're out. The Big 12 so far is still playing their season. That's, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. The ACC and the SEC have been a lot more vocal with their intentions to play. That's Clemson, that's Miami, that's Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia. So I just want to say that everything I have to say in this topic today is a lot more of my initial reaction. I don't have anything, I don't think I have anything really profound or deep to say. And as time goes on and the consequences become more clear as to what the cause of postponing a Pac-12 and Big 10 season is, as that becomes more clear what the consequences are, I'm sure I'm going to make follow-up topics and talk more about this down the road. But I got to say right off the bat, part of me is very sad. The football fan in me is disappointed. I love football. I love watching college football because, for me, I love the NFL, and I love watching NFL players develop and NFL players in the making. I really wanted to watch Ohio State this year. I really wanted to watch North Dakota State. I wanted to watch Trey Lance. I wanted to watch Justin Fields. I wanted to watch Arizona State. I wanted to watch USC. So as a fan of football, obviously I'm very, very disappointed. And even now, as a friend, I'm very torn. As a friend I got a lot of friends that play Division I college football, especially in the Pac-12. I'm very well connected. And some of my friends in college want to play. They still, to this day, are like, how can we make a season work? And the news that the Pac-12 has postponed their season really broke their hearts, and they were very disappointed. Now, other friends of mine were very nervous, very concerned, and were like, look, these health protocols are not good enough for me. And so, look, I want, my friends that play Division I football, I want them to be safe. I really care about them. I like talking to them. I hope they're okay. And I like, you see a lot of people in the media saying, well, the players shouldn't play. It's like, well, shouldn't that be up to the players? Like, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, the players shouldn't play. If they want to, I feel bad for the kids and the guys that wanted to play college football that are not able to. I have a heart for that, and I feel sad for them. And I totally get it. I want my friends to be safe, though, and so I'm just very torn. It's also hard to ignore, though, the fact that the two conferences that are not going to play football this fall are also the two conferences that had the most vocal and most organized player movements, the Pac-12 and the Big 10. Now, the majority of the people I know, again, in the Big 10 and the Pac-12, the majority of the people I know wanted to play. Even the ones that were part of the movement said, we want to play, we just want better health care. We want more medical protocols, and if we can, we're hoping to get better compensation. And I understand that. College football during a pandemic is a lot harder to justify than professional football. In the NFL, you're paying your players. Your guys are making a very healthy paycheck to play. In college football, what are you getting paid? You're getting tuition for free, you're getting a place to sleep, and you're getting food. And some college football players felt like they were getting not enough money, and what they were getting paid was not worth the risk. Like, if you're not paying me in a lot of cash, they're like, my education is not worth my health. I'll take a year off of school. Like, guys felt that way. And so basically college football right now is a giant mess. It's all over the place. It's just fractured and confusing and messy. And I will say I would be shocked. I'd be very, very surprised if the SEC did cancel their season. If the SEC cancels their season, that's like the final thing I'll go, wow, I'm really shocked, because I don't think Alabama or Georgia or Florida or Tennessee, those are schools and parts of our country that care about football, that want to play football. And I think the South not only cares about sports more, they care about football more. The South cares about football more than the rest of the country, but also the SEC now has a chance to really dominate the ratings of college football. If there's no Ohio State, there's no Michigan, there's no Oregon, there's no late-night Pac-12 games. And no offense to the ACC and the Big 12, but the SEC is going to be the main attraction in college football this year, like it or not. Now, what I'm really curious to see, and that's not to take away from Oklahoma is going to be fun to watch, and Clemson is going to be fun to watch. And I think Miami, I think Louisville, there's a lot of schools and other conferences that are fun to watch, but I think that the majority of people across the country are going to be drawn to the SEC. Now, I think a nerdy sports fan like me and people like you, if you're a nerdy sports fan listening, might go, yeah, I know about De'Aaron King of Miami. I know about why Louisville's interesting to watch, but the majority of people only know, hey, the SEC has the best players and my team isn't playing. I'll watch the SEC. Now, I'm really, 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 really curious to see what does the Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields do? What decision will he make? Because many people believe that Justin Fields is a top 10 pick in the NFL already. And so I wonder, man, is Justin Fields going to leave Ohio State to start training for the NFL? At what point, how many players, Justin Fields or not, he's kind of a litmus test because he's a guy that's already viewed as a top pick. If there's no season this fall, how many guys are going to leave college football early and say, you know what? I'm going to get drafted next year, next fall, or next spring, excuse me. I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to start training now. How many guys are going to skip the season? Like if there's a spring season, how many guys are going to say, I'm not playing, instead I'm training for the NFL? It's going to be less than we think because a lot of guys still have a lot to prove in the NFL. The majority of college athletes still have to prove to the NFL why they should be there. But there are definitely a handful of guys that are talented enough that are already viewed as first-round picks that are like, you know what? I don't need to play. I'm going to prepare for the combine and prepare for the draft instead. Now, a spring season, number one, will create a very, very short offseason. If we have college football in the spring in 2021 and then again in the fall in 2021, ooh, man, that's messy because athletes are going to really have a hard time physically. Their bodies are going to break down. And that's not my opinion. That's what I'm being told by my friends that play in the Pac12. They're like, look, our concern is if we play in the spring, then we're afraid that we won't be recovered by the time August comes around and it's time for another training camp. To have 2 months off, some guys get very badly hurt in the season. They're concerned about their bodies a little bit as well. And then also, you know, are some guys going to be playing while the NFL draft happens? The NFL draft is in April. The NFL Combine is in February. If you start a college football season in January and you're playing January, February, maybe March, maybe April, I doubt you're still playing at the end of April. But my point is that are we going to see guys in the middle of their college football season get drafted? Are they like, hey, coach, I'm leaving the team because I'm going to the Combine? That's a weird, messy situation. I have no idea why that's going to happen. And, you know, the question is, will the NFL adjust to college? Is the college football season not going to happen in the spring? I don't know. And then another question is really, what's actually going to change if you play in the spring? I mean, think about it this way. You have September, October, November, December, January. That's 5 months. In the span of 5 months, what's really going to happen with college, with the world? How much is really going to change? I'm not sure that a lot is going to change. And so how does a transition from a college football player, a college season to the pros, how does that work? And then let's throw the XFL into the mix. Is anyone going to leave college football to join the XFL? Some guys might say, hey, screw this college thing. I'm going to go to a situation where I'm going to get paid. And a lot of guys, because despite not playing games, despite not having football recently, college football players have still been taking classes online. So a lot of guys are going to get their degree and still have a lot of eligibility left in college football. And so you might say, hey, I have my degree, and I want to play more football. I'm going to go to the XFL, get paid. I already took care of my degree. I'm going to go get paid in the XFL and earn my way to the NFL. It's possible that happens. I don't know. And again, I go back to that 5 month span of time. September, October, November, December, January. How much is really going to change with COVID by spring 2021? I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about with this medical stuff. It's complicated. One thing I've heard consistently is that when it's cold, it's a little bit stronger, right? It's because you're indoors. It's more spread indoors. I'm spitballing here, but my question honestly is, what's really going to happen by the time spring comes around? Are we really going to have massive changes? Is COVID really going to be completely gone? I'm not confident of that. The masks, the restrictions, it feels like the new normal. And so I think college football, the Pac12, the Big 10, they'd better get organized and create medical protocols that players are okay with. And that's the only way they're going to have a season. If they want to have a spring season, they're still going to have to figure out how to handle COVID, because I don't think COVID's going to go away in 5 months. I hope I'm dead wrong. I would love that. I'm just not confident of that. And that's a weird, uncertain place to be. And so it's really messy. It's all messy. It's all weird. I want athletes to be safe. That matters to me. I have a lot of friends that play Division I college football. I really wish that I think they could still have a season and just let guys opt out who don't feel safe. If you just said, hey, if you want to opt out, you get to keep your scholarship. We're in a weird time, no problem. But I don't have all the answers, right? Now, the SEC, that's Alabama, Florida, Texas, Georgia. That is the conference to keep your eyes on, because I don't believe they're going to cancel their season. If they do, I'd be very, very surprised. Now, I love quarterbacks. From a quarterback standpoint, it's really sad because there are 7 quarterbacks that I was excited to watch. I guess maybe 8 that would be playing this fall. You had Keaton Slovis at USC. He's not going to be playing. Jaden Daniels, Arizona State, a Pac-12 school. They won't play. Justin Fields at Ohio State. North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. Talia Tagovailoa at Maryland. Dorian Thompson-Robinson at UCLA. Tanner Morgan at Minnesota. Maybe JT Daniels at USC. There's a lot of quarterbacks that I was like, man, I was so excited to watch either of them become NFL quarterbacks or their progression as a quarterback, and they're not going to play this fall. And so from a fan perspective, I'm sad. Now, as a friend, I'm torn. Again, a lot of my friends feel unsafe, but a lot of my friends also want to play, and so it's a very mixed bag right now. It's messy. It's ugly. I don't have the answers. But from a quarterback perspective, here are a couple quarterbacks that so far are still going to play this fall. We have Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. We have Jamie Newman at Georgia. Sam Howell at UNC. De'Aaron King at Miami. Sam Ehlinger at Texas. Louisville QB Mikael Cunningham. He's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to watch Mikael Cunningham. He's a great runner. He can throw the ball really well. There's a lot of good quarterbacks still out there playing. Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma is really talented. He will be a blast. And so if we get college football, it's still going to be fun to watch on TV. I just think there's so much uncertainty here. I don't know what's going to happen. But again, the conference to keep your eyes on. I would be shocked if the SEC cancels their season. That's a gigantic canary in the coal mine where you go, oh, wow. The dudes who are the most committed to football, even they're not playing. That would be a massive, massive deal in the world of football. The Pac-12, it's mostly it's California. It's Seattle. It's a different lifestyle. I live on the West Coast. I live near Portland, Oregon. Things are a little bit different here than they are in Georgia. And people are a little bit more timid. There's a lot more fear. Whether that's justified or not, I don't know. But I do know that the way one part of the country is reacting to COVID to another is very different. And so I'm not shocked that the Pac-12 canceled their season. And I would be shocked if the South, if the SEC, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, if they cancel their season, Mississippi, I'd be very, very, very surprised.